Stephanie Mills is an American R&B, soul and gospel singer, songwriter and Broadway star. She rose to stardom as Dorothy in the original Broadway run of the musical The Wiz from 1975 to 1977. The song Home from the show later became a #1 US R&B hit for Mills and her signature song. In the 1980s she scored 5 #1 R&B hits, including Home, I Have Learned to Respect the Power of Love, I Feel Good All Over, You're Putting a Rush on Me, and Something in the Way. Mills' 1980 song Never Knew Love Like This Before won a Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance. Early life and career: Mills was born in Brooklyn or Queens, New York City. As a child, she sang gospel music at Brooklyn's Cornerstone Baptist Church, and began her career at age 9, appearing in the Broadway musical Maggie Flynn. After winning Amateur Night at the Apollo Theater 6 weeks straight at age 11, she went on to become the opening act for the Isley Brothers. In 1973, Mills was signed to Paramount Records by Michael Barbiero, and her first single I Knew It Was Love was released. She was later signed to Motown. Her first 2 albums there failed to produce a hit, and she left the label in 1976. The Wiz and 1980s success: Mills' career took a rise when she portrayed Dorothy in the Broadway musical The Wiz, an African-American adaptation of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Her song Home from the show would become her signature tune for years, and would be covered later by Diana Ross for the movie adaptation 3 years later. Commercial success in the music industry remained elusive until 1979, when she signed to the 20th Century Fox Records label. There, Mills found her niche in mainly disco music, recording songs such as Put Your Body in It, You Can Get Over, and What Car Gonna Do With My Lovin'. The resulting album, What Car Gonna Do With My Lovin', was Mills' first gold record and the first major hit for the James McCune-Reggie Lucas production team. She quickly followed the success with 1980's Sweet Sensation, which featured Mills' hit Never Knew Love Like This Before. The single became a #12 R&B and #6 pop hit in 1980, as well as reaching #4 in the UK singles chart. 1981 Stephanie featured a top hit for her and Teddy Pendergrass entitled Two Hearts, while her 1983 album, Merciless, featured her hit cover of Prince's How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, as well as the #3 dance chart hit Pilot Error, which was her first dance hit in the US. In 1984, Mills had her third UK hit with the Medicine Song, which also reached #1 on the US dance chart. In 1985, Mills' recording of Bit by Bit was featured in the Chevy Chase film, Fletch, and reached #52 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles and Tracks chart and #78 on the Billboard Hot 100. Success for Mills had peaked until 1986, when her version of the Angela Winbush-penned I Have Learned to Respect the Power of Love hit #1 on the R&B Singles chart. Mills truly returned, however, with her next release, If I Were Your Woman in 1987 under MCA Records, which she was now signed. The hits from the album include the title track, originally a hit for Gladys Knight and the Pips in 1971. A 3-week #1 R&B hit, I Feel Good All Over, and You're Putting a Rush on Me, to name a few of the songs released. The album reached platinum status. That same year, she appeared in the NBC TV special, Motown, Merry Christmas along with other musical artists and actors, performing the song, Christmas Every Day, which was written by actor-comedian Redd Foxx. Mills' success continued with 1989's Home album. The hits from that album include The Comfort of a Man, the title track, a cover of her old standard from The Wiz, and another song penned by Winbush titled Something in the Way You Make Me Feel. It became another platinum record for Mills. 1990s to 2010s, Mills would record one more album and a Christmas album before being released from her contract with MCA in 1992. Mills released a live gospel recording in 1995 on Gospel-centric records entitled Personal Inspirations. The set was produced by Donald Lawrence and featured a spiritualized retooling of her hit I Have Learned to Respect the Power of Love. Thereafter, Mills took a break from recording to care for her son. Mills returned to musical theater in 1997, playing the lead in a major production of Stephen Schwartz's Children of Eden in New Jersey, which Schwartz has called the definitive production of the show. Mills was heavily featured in the cast recording CD that resulted from this production. In 2008, Mills began a comeback with singles recorded with BeBe Winans and rapper DMX to name a few. She made a comeback in independently releasing Born for This on August 3, 2004. Her first single in over a decade, Can't Let Him Go, garnered buzz at Urban Contemporary Radio. Mills is currently touring. A two-disc, career-spanning greatest hits compilation entitled Gold was released by Hippo Universal Music earlier last year. Mills just finished production of a live DVD recorded at BB King's in New York which will be sold online and at her shows. Mills made an appearance in the 2007 gospel TV series Sunday Best and was recently featured in a live interview on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show, where she mentioned that she now has her own record label. Mills performed prior to Pope Benedict XVI celebrating Mass at Yankee Stadium in New York on April 20, 2008. Her track, Yesterday, is available for download on iTunes. Towards the end of 2012, Mills released a new single So in Love This Christmas, available for download. In 2015, Mills was cast as Aunt Em in the NBC Live musical production of The Wiz, 40 years after her initial Broadway run in the show. Personal life. In 2002 Ebony magazine reported that Mills had been married in the 1980s for a brief period, to Jeffrey Daniel from the soul group Shalamar and again in the mid-1980s to Dino Maminga but that both marriages had ended in less than 2 years. Mills married a third time to Charlotte, North Carolina, radio program manager, Michael Saunders, in 1993 in a wedding ceremony performed by Minister Louis Farrakhan. The couple divorced sometime later. Mills has a son with Down syndrome. Discography. Moving in the Right Direction Euro 1975, for the first time Euro 1975, What Car Gonna Do With My Love in Euro 1979, Sweet Sensation Euro 1980, Stephanie Euro 1981, Tantalizingly Hot Euro 1982, Love Has Lifted Me, 1975 released in 1982, Merciless Euro 1983, I've Got the Cure Euro 1984, Stephanie Mills Euro 1985. If I Were Your Woman Euro 1987, Home Euro 1989. Christmas Euro 1991, Something Real Euro 1992, Personal Inspirations Euro 1994, Born for This Euro 2004, Still Stephanie Pending. Stage work, Maggie Flynn, Pearly, The Wiz, Harlem Suite, Stephanie Mills Comes Home to Broadway, Children of Eden, Funny Girl. Awards. 1974 Euro nominated for Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actress Euro Musical, 1979 Euro nominated for American Music Award, Favorite Female Artist Euro Soul/Rhythm and Blues. 1980 Euro 1 Grammy Award, Best Rhythm and Blues Vocal Performance Euro Female. 1980 Euro nominated for an American Music Award, Favorite Female Artist Euro Soul/Rhythm and Blues. 1980 Euro nominated for Young Artist Awards, Best Young Musical Recording Artist Euro Female. 1981 Euro nominated for a Grammy Award, Best Rhythm and Blues Vocal Performance Euro Female. 1981 Euro 1 American Music Award for Favorite Female Artist Euro Soul/Rhythm and Blues. 1983 Euro nominated for a Grammy Award, Best Rhythm and Blues Vocal Performance Euro Female. 1989 Euro nominated for American Music Award, Favorite Female Artist Euro Soul/Rhythm and Blues. See also, List of number 1 dance hits, List of artists who reached number 1 on the US dance chart. References. External links, Stephanie Mills at Wenig Larmonica Associates, Stephanie Mills at AllMusic, Stephanie Mills at the Internet Movie Database, Stephanie Mills at the Internet Broadway Database.